We are live.
Great. We are live now, Amit. गुड इवनिंग एंड नमस्कार फ्रेंड्स। एक बार फिर आप सबका स्वागत है ब्रोकर की पाठशाला सीजन 3 एंड एपिसोड 24th, and I am extremely happy to welcome one of our very dear friend, Mr. Amit Damodar Chuk from Chennai. Amit, namaskar.
नमस्कार सर, थैंक यू फॉर द अपॉर्चुनिटी।
थैंक यू अमित। दोस्तों, आज बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट डे है। आप सब जानते हैं आज गुरु पूर्णिमा है और आज का जो सेशन है इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी वेरी इफेक्टिव। और बिफोर आई से समथिंग अबाउट गुरु पूर्णिमा, लेट अस स्टार्ट दिस सेशन। वैसे तो हम हर सेशन को गुरु पूर्णिमा मानते हैं और हम हर सेशन में प्रेयर करते हैं, तो मैं चाहता हूं आप सब मेरे साथ जुड़ जाए प्रेयर में, एंड देन वी कैन टेक दिस सेशन फॉरवर्ड। प्लीज ज्वाइन मी फॉर द प्रेयर। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। सर्वेपि सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहे तेजस्वी नावदितमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Thank you friends, and good evening once again. Welcome back to Broker Ki Pathshala season 3, and today we are going to have a session 24, and we have amongst us a very young and dynamic, a dear friend all the way from Chennai. So Broker Ki Pathshala की यात्रा अब चेन्नई में है आज। Mr. Amit Chuk, welcome once again to this Broker Ki Pathshala, Amit. Thank you very much for your kind consent to be here today and to share your personal journey and professional journey with all our broker friends. दोस्तों, आज गुरु पूर्णिमा है। गुरु पूर्णिमा हम ऐसा समझते हैं कि हम सब जितने भी हिंदुस्तान में, पूरे विश्व में जो भी गुरु है, और आप जहां से भी किसी भी गुरु से आपने कुछ भी शिक्षा पाई है, तो आज उनको वंदन करने का दिन है। मैं ऐसा समझता हूं, गुरु केवल इंसान में नहीं होते। आज का आप युग देख लो, अगर आज जो हम सेशन कर रहे हैं ब्रोकर की पाठशाला, तो मेरे हिसाब से तो जूम जो टेक्नोलॉजी है वो भी हमारे लिए गुरु है, मोबाइल वो हमारे लिए गुरु है। एक पुस्तक, अच्छी बुक अगर आप पढ़ते हैं, उसमें से कुछ ज्ञान आपको प्राप्त होता है, तो वो भी गुरु के बराबर है। मुझे याद आता है गुरु पूर्णिमा के इस दिन पे एक छोटी सी कविता जो 45 साल पहले मैंने अपने स्कूल में गाई थी कोरस में। बहुत अच्छी कविता है, तो मैं चाहता हूं मैं आप सबके साथ, एक इतना अच्छा मौका मिला है मुझे, तो शेयर करूं। प्लीज बी विथ मी। इट गोज लाइक दिस। गुजराती में है, माफ करना मुझे, लेकिन बहुत अच्छी कविता है। पुराणों मां अमल बनी गयो एकलव्य तो, पुराणों मां अमल बनी गयो एकलव्य तो, गुरुनी मूर्तिनी पासे तिरंगा जी चलाव तो, गुरु का जे अंगूठानी कुर्बानी याद रही जासे, गुरुनी प्रेम आशीषो अमोने याद रही जासे, गुरुनी प्रेमनी वाणी अमोने याद रही जासे। कदिए ना भुलाए जिंदगी मां गुरु पूर्णिमा, भरी दो ज्ञान नो सागर हमारी उर्मियों मां, गुरुनी लागणी ओनी सरिता याद જાશે ગુરુની પ્રેમ આશીષો અમોને યાદ રહી જાશે ગુરુની પ્રેમની વાણી અમોને યાદ રહી જાશે. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much for your patient listening. जैसा मैंने लास्ट टाइम कहा था, हमने ब्रोकर की पाठशाला का एक ग्रुप बनाया है और उसमें आप जुड़ जाए. और मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है आपको कहते हुए कि लास्ट 1 वीक में वी हैव क्रॉस अनदर 100 brokers who joined the ब्रोकर की पाठशाला. सो वी आर क्रॉसिंग एंड मूविंग वेरी फास्ट. हमारे जितने भी पास्ट के वीडियो है, ये करंट वीडियो है, वो सारे उस लिंक पे आएंगे. अगर आपने मिस किया है सेशन, आप अपने टाइम के हिसाब से उस सेशन को देख सकते हैं. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर ऑल योर सपोर्ट एंड काइंडनेस एंड एनकरेजमेंट. तो चलिए आज का जो सेशन है वो हमारे मित्र, बहुत ही अच्छे दोस्त अमित से शुरू करते हैं. अमित इज अ वेरी वेरी यंग एंड डायनेमिक ब्रोकर, रियल्टर. और जितना मैं उनको जानता हूँ, लेकिन पिछले 2-3-4 दिन में जितना इंटरेक्शन हुआ है, अब मैं उनको पहचान गया हूँ. बहुत सारी ऐसी बातें जो मुझे नहीं पता था. So Amit, let our viewers know who is Amit Chugh. Where are you from? मुझे लगता है आप सिंधी है, तो मुझे नहीं पता था कि आपकी बर्थ कहाँ पे हुई है. मुझे लगा कि आप साउथ से नहीं होंगे, दूसरे कोई सी सिटी से होंगे. लेकिन लेट अवर ऑडियंस नो कि आप वेयर आर यू बोर्न एंड बॉट ऑफ, क्या आपकी फैमिली है. लेट अस नो अबाउट योर चाइल्डहुड. Unmute, please.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Manoj bhai. I actually treat you as my guru. You are inspirational, motivational, and you've actually guided me, many times. So it's always a pleasure, talking to you, and it's a honor when you invite me to speak to such a wonderful audience, most of who are our brothers and sisters, and we all work together. So with regard to me, well, I was born and brought up in Chennai. मेरी जो फैमिली थी, they had moved from Karachi straight to Chennai in 1947. हम लोग सिंधी है. चेन्नई में हम लोग एक्चुअली हिंदी बहुत एक्चुअली कम बात करते हैं. घर पे भी एक्चुअली इंग्लिश ही बात करते हैं, बिकॉज इन चेन्नई वी स्पीक English or Tamil. It's a little bit anti Hindi. Used to be anti. So the knowledge of Hindi is very limited.
True.
And we don't get a chance to practice our Hindi. So अगर मेरे से कोई गलती होती है हिंदी में, please excuse me. I'm not an expert at Hindi.
No problem.
So born and brought up in Chennai, born in 1977. Schooling was in Don Bosco, and then I did my BCom in Loyola College. Then I grew up further, joined dad in business for some time, and then eventually landed up in real estate. So that's in short. So if you want to know more in detail, then I can.
Yeah, absolutely, because there are very very interesting things. So who came? Your grandfather first came from Karachi to Mumbai or Chennai?
Yes. So he came from Karachi to Chennai. वो actually Bombay के through आए थे via Kutch and via Mumbai. And इनके sister और जिया जी आए थे पहले यहाँ पे pre-independence. तो इनको वो comfort था कि भाई somebody is there in actually Chennai. South is generally very peace loving. People even from those days up to today, very disciplined and very organized. I'm not saying you are not organized, but generally जो actually compliance यहाँ पे होता है taxation का और जो a lot of other things. People are very non-violent, very easy to deal with. Importance होता है South में. So people are very well educated, knowledgeable, and it's wonderful to be in South India. It's very safe, totally safe.
So, how many? Tell us about your family. कितने members थे आपके? Your father, how big your family of your grandfather?
Right. So my grandfather, had 4 sisters, and my dad had 3 sisters. I have 2 sisters. I have only one son. So we've traditionally been like one male member carrying the name forward. तो इसके हिसाब से होता जा रहा है. And yeah, that's how we are.
Great. So, and so what business your father was into, Amit?
जी सर. तो अभी दादाजी के कुछ जमीन थे वहां पे कराची में. इनको वो एक्चुअली मनी लेंडिंग का एक्चुअली बिजनेस आता था. व्हेन ही केम टू चेन्नई ही टुक अप अ जॉब. उन्होंने काम किया था फॉर अ फ्यू इयर्स एंड देन ही आल्सो स्टार्टेड डूइंग फाइनेंस बिजनेस ऑन द साइड. दादाजी एक्चुअली बस में घूमते थे एंड फिर एक्चुअली पापा जॉइंड दादाजी एट अ वेरी यंग एज. 12 साल की उम्र पे ही यूज्ड टू गो टू ऑफिस. दादाजी को हेल्प करते थे. पापा इज जस्ट अ 12th पास, but he took care of his parents extremely well, which also makes me take care of my parents. So it's what we see is what we learn, and he's been a great dad. So I always aspire to be a great dad, and also aspire to be a great son. And yeah. So
So what was your dad's wish जब आप स्कूल कॉलेज कर रहे थे, तो ऐसा कुछ आपको डैडी ने बताया कि मैं चाहता हूँ कि तुम ये बनो लाइफ में?
हाँ, सी क्या था कि भाई the business was flourishing. दादा ने चालू किया था. पापा जाते थे साइकिल पे, फिर टू व्हीलर पे, and then automatically he put me in the best school. Don Bosco at that time was the best school in Chennai, undoubtedly. I got the highest quality education. I was a school topper, general proficiency in actually 12th class. Dad always wanted me to learn more than learn about his business apart from school. तो ड्यूरिंग स्कूल डेज, स्कूल के टाइम पे भी जब भी मेरे को फ्री टाइम मिलता था, मैं एक्चुअली जाता था ऑफिस, उनके साथ में बैठता था. कॉलेज टाइम पे उनको मैंने बहुत हेल्प किया है. आई हैव वर्क विद हिम हाफ डे, not every day. जब भी मेरे को मतलब कॉलेज बंक करना था, when I had to go out for the whole day also, I would not go to office on those days. He was not too strict. लेकिन मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा है पापा से. और मेरा जो बीकॉम का एजुकेशन था, स्पेशली अकाउंटेंसी, बिकेम एक्सट्रीमली इजी क्योंकि मैं एक्चुअली पापा के यहाँ I was handling his accounts, share accounts and finance accounts, and whatever he was doing. So for me, education became very easy. College education was very, very simple. What people did not understand, for me, there was a practical touch. So
Absolutely.
और बिजनेस का भी प्रैक्टिकल टच था. पापा के साथ में मैं एक्चुअली क्लाइंट्स के पास जाता था कलेक्शन करने, वेरियस अदर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का काम था. तो लीगल इश्यूज एक्चुअली समझ में आती थी. तो इट हेल्प मी अ लॉट. आई बिलीव दैट more than an MBA, if you actually get practical education, it is far superior. So that's the kind of education that Dad gave me.
Excellent. But Amit, as a student during the school and college, because I am sure looking at you and जितना मैं आपको जानता हूँ, हमने वक्त बिताया है, I am sure you would have been like वो 3 Idiots में आमिर खान का जो कैरेक्टर है, you would have been like similar kind of student in your school, college. Share us something about something very interesting stories from your school days and college days.
Right. तो जब ये स्कूल चालू हुआ था, मैं एक्चुअली एट यंगर क्लासेस, बीइंग द थर्ड चाइल्ड, mom had a blind mother-in-law also. So my grandmom was blind for 25 years of her life. तो मेरे को attention थोड़ा कम ही मिला. So I was a 25th ranker in class out of 55 students in the first standard, second standard. Actually jumped to 16th rank by the time I was in 4th class. By the time I was in 6th class, I had jumped to 2nd rank. And and then I was first. So I have my general proficiency for the 10th, 11th and 12th. I used to study in class. I used to be very focused and then come back home and play. मेरे जो public exams के पहले जो मतलब science exam के पहले था, I would play cricket on the road with the neighbors. My sister used to cry. She used to say, public exam hai and this guy is now studying. She used to get the tension. I was relaxed. There's a naughty side to me as well. Apart from being studious, I have had too much fun in school. मैंने 11th और 12th में जितनी मस्ती की है क्लास में, no student would have done. और जो अपने जो डॉन बॉस्को 95 का बैच है, जब भी हम लोग एक्चुअली मिलते हैं, अपने सब दोस्त लोग they actually remember all those naughty things that I did in class. I have troubled teachers. I have harassed all my friends. College I was a riot. मतलब जो भी मेरे पास में बैठा था, he used to get caught for talking, for being mischievous. Because I used to get good ranks, and then I would disturb the others, and the teacher would never throw me out. The teacher would put the other guy out. And last day of college, so eight guys caught me. I remember the day very well. They caught me. They carried me and they actually kicked my back and my backside. And to me, I said, "This is for all the mischief that you've done in 3 years." So for 3 to 4 days, I had a lot of pain, but well deserved. I think it was too less for the kind of difficulty that I gave all of them, and I gave to my teachers. Yeah.
Great. And you were a good poet also. You were writing a lot of poem on for different students also.
Absolutely. So from the 8th class, I had a natural ability to write. So even today, the mails that I write, the articles that I write, everything is all in-house. All my SEO, my videos, all the content is created by me. I have a natural talent.
Super.
English में actually proficiency अच्छी है. And from 8th class onwards, right up to 12th class, so for 5 years, I actually wrote poems on each and every of my classmate, and I would make rhyming poems, and I would catch that single attribute of that person.
Yeah.
Uska मैं actually मजाक उड़ाता था poem में, and the poems used to be awaited. The last 2 weeks of the class, everyone, teachers भी actually पूछते थे, students भी पूछते थे, भाई आपका actually poem ready है क्या? तो one of my friends has one of those poems framed, उसने frame करके रखा है, मेरे को देता नहीं. उसको मैंने बोला, भाई तू actually 1 लाख भी दे, यू ले लेकिन तो दे दे, वो मतलब 5 लाख में भी नहीं देगा.
क्या बात है.
That's a blessing of God, not that you are not taught that, it was naturally inborn. So
this amazing. Yeah. और मैं अमित, जब मैंने ब्रोकर की पाठशाला शुरू किया था तो काफी लोगों ने मुझे बताया था कि यार आप हर शो में हर वीक में स्पीकर आके अपना सक्सेस स्टोरी बताएगा, उसमें नया क्या है. तो मैं उनको बोलता था कि आज हम जो भी कर रहे हैं ना, एवरी इंडिविजुअल हु इज सक्सेसफुल ना, उसका जो फाउंडेशन है ना, वो ये स्कूल कॉलेज में वहां से आता है
जी.
आपके पेरेंट्स ने जो आपको सिखाया है बचपन में, वो वहां से बिल्ट हो. If you're useful today, unconsciously you don't know, but things are. You are writing a wonderful poem, so that is helping you now to create those videos and SEOs and all your communication. I think that's a very very valid thing. But एक चीज मुझे बताओ कि इतना आउटगोइंग लड़का, इतना मस्तीखोर लड़का, तो आपकी गर्लफ्रेंड भी उतनी, गर्ल्स मस्ट बी चेजिंग यू ड्यूरिंग द स्कूल कॉलेज.
या बताता हूँ. So no, apart from writing poems, I used to sing very well. So I've sung on the school stage. I have one painting. जब भी मैं actually Loyola College में था, BCom में, there's another course called Visual Communication. They used to win all the awards for painting and for Rangoli. And then when somebody won those awards from BCom, it was a shocker in Loyola College itself.
Correct.
So we had those ad creation, contests, which were the multi-school culturals.
Yes.
I would also model in there. So I've done a lot of other activities apart from just studying.
Yeah.
I had my first girlfriend in 8th class. You can't really call her a girlfriend. She was my neighbor.
8th class.
Yeah, 8th class. I studied in a boys' school.
Yeah.
तो एक actually neighbor थी, उसको मतलब वो actually दोस्त थी, not exactly girlfriend. But then she introduced me to a friend of hers in actually 10th class, and then whom she introduced me to happens to be my wife today. And the name was Manisha. It's changed today to Kripa. After marriage, her name is changed to Kripa.
So this is in your Sindhi community that after your marriage you changed the name.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Great. So I think so that speaks about your. ये ऐसा ही हो गया, मतलब वो दूसरा एक मूवी आया था अमिताभ बच्चन का, अपना आमिर खान का दिल चाहता है, so लग जाता है तो फिर वो that commitment and loyalty is there. Amazing. I think these are the things which brings you as an individual when you become successful. आपको कभी ये पता नहीं होता है शायद कि आप कैसे सक्सेसफुल बने, लेकिन these are your core competence, जो जड़ से एकदम जुड़ा हुआ है कि उसको कोई हिला नहीं सकता है.
जी तो वो loyalty, see, I was loyal to her from 10th class, that but you know she didn't introduce me to anybody else, तो मेरे को chance नहीं मिला किसी to choose my girlfriend again. So
So,
the first girl introduced me to her, she didn't introduce me to the next one. So
so loyalty test नहीं हुआ है आपका.
exactly. But yeah, to have a girlfriend in 10th class, being in a boys' school in 1993 was a very big thing in Chennai. So yeah, it was
Absolutely.
yeah,
Good.
I was quite popular at that time.
ग्रेट. आई एम श्योर अभी जितने भी लोग ऑनलाइन आपको सुन रहे यू नो वो सबको ऐसा लगता होगा कि यार ऐसी लाइफ स्कूल कॉलेज की हमारे भी होती काश. सो देन you decided to do become considering what you wanted to become, or your dad wanted you to become a chartered accountant. What was the idea behind that? Why
Right.
not engineering and doctor?
Ji.
You're very good in study.
Yeah. So no, dad wanted me to be a CA, and it was natural. You know, studying well in actually 10th, 11th, 12th, and then obviously then in college, so it was natural to proceed towards CA. So I actually did a short articleship with a company known as Arthur Anderson, which was a CA firm. It was the Big Five those days. Now it's the Big Four. Arthur Anderson eventually got acquired by one of the Big Four, and at that time. Dad's business was also doing well, and then I had a girlfriend whom I wanted to get married to, and then dad said, if you like to join the business and help it grow, you also have a potential career there.
Correct.
So I actually moved to dad's business, completely full time in the year 98, and a year later I actually got married in 99.
क्या बात है. मतलब बहुत इजी काम हो गया वो. अभी आज का जनरेशन में अगर किसी को आप पूछो कि शादी कर लो तो कोई शादी नहीं करता है. बोले पहले करियर बनाओ, गाड़ी आना चाहिए, खुद का घर होना चाहिए. दैट बिकम्स अ. बट आई थिंक आपका प्रेम भी उतना सॉलिड हुआ होगा कि नहीं यार पहले ये दिस इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन अर्निंग मनी.
Right. So yeah, there was a lot of comfort from dad, and I was 21 years and 11 months when I actually got married, just barely legal. So got married, and then I actually got into the business further, and I helped dad grow the business after my marriage.
So what kind of because your dad, you said, started business as coming from background and the education, that must be a very traditional way of doing finance business. So I'm sure the moment you enter, you are a process driven guy. So what kind of changes you brought in your dad's business, and how did it affect?
Right. So basically dad's business, it was built over years, and it had a very solid foundation. 1947 से actually दादाजी कर रहे थे, and 99 is when I kind of took over the business. 50 years later.
Right.
दादाजी का मतलब पार्ट टाइम चालू हुआ था 1949 में, so as good as 50 years is when I took over, and very young, very dynamic, without much experience, and with a aim to grow very fast, like कोई भी मतलब 21 साल का 22 साल का जो एक्चुअली बंदा होता है comes with lot of energy.
Yes.
तो फिर पापा का जो बिजनेस है, मैंने वो टर्नओवर को एक्चुअली 10 गुना किया था 3 साल के अंदर. टर्नओवर वे टू हाई, एंड डैड सपोर्टेड मी कंप्लीटली. उन्होंने कोई मेरा डिसीजन क्वेश्चन नहीं किया, बट लिटिल डिड आई नो दैट आई वाज फॉलिंग इनटू अ ट्रैप. मैंने एक्चुअली एक वो जो ग्रोथ था was not meant for the kind of business that we were doing. We were into working capital funding, ये जो short term finance था.
Correct.
And to grow at that period and actually that pace proved to be a wrong decision. 3 years later in 2002, it started showing signs. मतलब वो कुछ signals आए थे कि the business was not healthy, और 6 महीने के बाद में actually business खराब हुआ था. We went through a tough time, there's no doubt, for about 2 to 3 years, and in those 3 years पापा ने मेरे को एक बार भी बोला नहीं कि भाई you didn't do this right, you didn't do that, you did this wrong. कभी भी nobody pointed out a mistake at me कि भाई मैंने अच्छा किया या बुरा किया. So that always brings tears in my eyes. Every time I remember that, I feel bad about it, that nobody ever told me anything. It was my mistake, there is no doubt. and yes, but it was a learning lesson. When you get such sharp lessons at that age, you actually tend to be overcautious and over careful,
True.
and it sets you up for life. So when you realize that you've been cheated far too young and you trusted too many people, then you know very well what to do ahead. So brilliant learning and brilliant times.
And it is said, कि आपका ये उम्र है 20 और 30 के बीच में आपको बिजनेस में अपनी लाइफ में जितने भी मिस्टेक करने हैं ना, दिस इज द टाइम फॉर, बिकॉज इफ यू डोंट, अगर कोई बोलता है कि मैंने लाइफ में कोई मिस्टेक नहीं किया, उसका मतलब उसने कुछ किया ही नहीं.
Right, say
You have this time for mistakes, but important is once you do that mistake and you rectify, you must learn the lesson that you should never do that mistake again. And then that will help you and build over the period as an entrepreneur. But can you share what was those mistakes so that our audience can also जरूरी नहीं है कि आज जो youngster आपको सुन रहे हैं शायद वो लोग भी वही लाइन में चल रहे हो, तो अगर आपकी शेयरिंग से they also will get enlightened कि was not necessary I have to do that mistake. If somebody has done and somebody is sharing that this is how one should never do. And if that learning comes, they will also save themselves for doing such kind of mistake in life.
Right. So see, it's very important to know where you stand. Aapki what is the fall you can take is what you should realize beforehand.
Excellent.
So you need to understand how much you can jump. Can you jump 3 feet down? Can you jump 10 feet down? Can you jump 40 feet down? That much you should rise. So for as long as you fall and you're able to stand on your own legs, go that high.
That's super.
So yeah, I actually went a little too much too high that we had to destroy a few family savings over 50 years to set things right.
Excellent.
But never anybody told me anything during the time that you have caused the family savings to erode.
बट ये चीज मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों से देखा है और एक्सपीरियंस किया है इन पीपल अराउंड मी इन लास्ट 30 to 35 years of my career. There are two kinds of people. एक आपका रियल एस्टेट अपना बिजनेस भी ऐसा है, we get lot of investment opportunity for investor, and same way it is in finance. You are getting good opportunity for your customer. इनको एक आप फाइनेंस कराते हो तो हमको एक कमीशन मिलता है. सेम इज हैपनिंग विद द रियल एस्टेट ऑल्सो, कि आपने किसी को रियल एस्टेट में इन्वेस्टमेंट कराया तो आपको कमीशन मिलता है. लेकिन एक पॉइंट आता है जहाँ पे ब्रोकर को लगता है यार ये मुझे कॉन्फिडेंटली मालूम है कि यहाँ पे ये बंदा 3,000 में जगह ले रहा है, उसका 3,500 रुपया 6 महीने में होना ही होना है. वी आर श्योर बिकॉज वी आर इन द बिजनेस. अब वो जो कमीशन है ना, वो छोड़ के उसको लालच आता है कि मैं क्यों ना इंटरेस्ट पे पैसा लेके ये मैं लगाऊं और मैं ही 500 रुपया कमाऊं, क्यों मैं किसी को इन्वेस्टमेंट कराऊं.
Absolutely right, sir.
वो जब भी होता है ना तभी वो ब्रोकरेज निकल जाता है आपका. तो फाइनेंस में भी काफी टाइम ऐसा मैंने देखा है कि देयर आर गुड कस्टमर हु विल से बॉस मुझे ज्यादा लालच नहीं है, ये लो 1% इंटरेस्ट, आप कहाँ पैसा लगा दो मुझे कुछ लेना देना नहीं, आई नो यू, आई वांट 1% इंटरेस्ट. एंड देन भी यहाँ ऐसा आता है कि आपको लगता है कि यार चलो मैं 1% पे लेके 2% पे लगाओ, 3% पे लगाओ. एंड एज यू सेड करेक्टली, यू मस्ट नो आप कितना नीचे गिरोगे तो वापस खड़े हो सकते हो. बट वो जो माहौल होता है ना उस टाइम पे, इट इज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू, अच्छे लोगों को मैंने देखा है कि वो जाते ही वो.
Absolutely.
That is what it is. So great sharing. So then how did एक होता है कि एक्सेप्ट करना कि भी हम हमसे मिस्टेक हो गई, बट व्हेन यू आर डाउन ना अमित, इट इज वेरी difficult to get people around you who will support you or encourage you ki boss don't worry I am there. So what was that experience, and how did you come out of that?
So when you're down and जब भी आपको मदद की जरूरत होती है, मैक्सिमम उस टाइम पे आपके साथ में कोई नहीं रहता है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो सबसे क्लोज है, करीबी है और जिनके लिए हमने बहुत कुछ किया है, वो भी साथ नहीं रहते हैं उस टाइम पे. I'm not generalizing.
Yeah, you're right. Most of the time.
Yes, most of the time. So
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Yes.
You're extremely very very fortunate if somebody is standing behind you in those times.
Absolutely correct. So 9 out of 10 people go through what I went through, and that again gives a brilliant learning. आपको ऐसे मालूम पड़ता है कि भाई कौन क्या है, and those learnings are You cannot learn that by anybody telling you. You can only learn it by your experience. And we do these sessions जैसे आप भी कर रहे हैं. You want a lot of brokers to learn from our good and bad so that they don't make the same errors. But I feel that there are some experiences, कुछ experience ऐसे होते हैं जो आप जितना भी बताओ ना, लोग सीखेंगे नहीं जब तक वो experience नहीं करेंगे. और ये उस जैसा experience है. आपको लगेंगे when you have money, you have all friends, you have all relatives, you have everybody around you, everybody cheers you, you feel good, you feel bright. But when you're down, it's very sadly the total opposite. आपके पास में कोई रहता नहीं है. तो that's a very deep learning, and that learning gives you so much strength that you don't need anybody after that, and that's very, very important. So we are prepared for the worst. That brings you back to be prepared for the worst, and it also brings you back to a situation where you'll never see that again.
Correct.
उसके बाद में जो planning आप करते हो, you actually ensure that you are never going to see those days again. So God is very kind that way. From there, it's only been an upward, upward line. हमने कुछ properties भी बेचे उस time पे. It was pre-boom. जो भी हम लोग बेचे थे, actually 10 गुना 20 गुना actually increase हुआ था 2-3 साल में.
Yes, 2002 to 2005 was a very, very prominent period for real estate.
वो 2005 में हम लोग बेचे थे कुछ properties जो भी था. And further ahead after that, God has been kind. जो भी हमने बेचे थे उसके many times more God has given us. So I strongly believe I don't go to temple and pray. I don't show that I worship God. For me it's more internal. एक actually conscience रहता है जो actually बताता है कि भाई ये right है और ये wrong है. That is more than enough. It's not important to show or prove your religion or to go and pray twice a day or 5 times a day or whatsoever. It is very important that you do right. Because you know what's right and wrong. There are many people who don't listen to the wrong and who keep doing it, and the conscience doesn't guide them there afterwards. My parents taught me listen to the right and wrong, so we follow the right, and the right happens to us. So what you do comes back to you eventually. That's very clear.
Yeah. It's a natural phenomena. आप जो भी देंगे वही वापस आना है आपको. That is for sure. So then what happened? After 2-3 years of challenging time, how did you came out and you started again finance, or what happened?
So during that time, I had filed cases against the people who had cheated us. I had close to 200 cases in the court. I would be in the court, going every day or every alternate day, attending to cases and trying to recover the money. And that was a very depressing period. Of course, it puts you down. And you would be tired after going to court, come back, sleep in the afternoon, lose your sleep at night, and so on and so forth. You'd be very depressed, mentally very upset. And then one fine morning, I woke up and I decided that I felt that I should be doing something with my life rather than just wasting it like this. And it was a decision taken that whatever money I've lost, I believe I didn't deserve that money. So let me go out and earn that money. So, maybe it came to me undeserved. Now I'll work in such a manner that I deserve that money and earn it. So that day changed my life. That was a life-changing day.
Wow, it's a wonderful thought. Yeah, it's not easy, but I'm sure the way you were chasing the court and cases, the entire day you were surrounded with all the negatives.
Exactly.
And there was nothing is happening, and then that forced you to go into the depression. But I think that thought itself is a very good, that you are leaving everything behind instead of putting your time and energy there. Same thing, if you can put outside and create something new, I think you can get all those money back with new earning.
Absolutely.
It's not easy, but I think you would have reached to that bottom, कि boss खत्म अभी इसमें कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, so let's leave it and restart again.
Yeah. So that again is a blessing. I have seen people lose money, get depressed, and completely lose their way and lose their life. But once again, I thank God, I thank my family. They always kept me upbeat. So always kept me positive. So that positive thought process is what actually changes your life. So it was one day at 4 a.m. that this happened, and there's never looking back after that.
Excellent. But I must compliment your family, because they are the greatest asset and support in such times.
Yes.
And as you said, your dad never told you that you have done something wrong. I think that's the amazing thing, Otherwise, बच्चा कुछ खराब करता है तो डैड सबसे पहले तो दो लाफा मारते हैं उसको, हमारे जमाने में तो
Absolutely.
so it's a great thing, So then what happened? You went back again for finance, or you thought something different in terms of business?
Right. So, wo jo losses थे, it was not just dad's losses. It was mom's savings. It was my wife's savings. It was everybody. Nobody told me anything. Anyway, so, when I decided that I'm going to go back and earn the money, I chased my passion. My passion still happens to be hospitality. I would love to have a hotel or a resort, run it, serve people food, give happiness to people. So when I see happiness on actually somebody's face is actually what gives me happiness. And what's a better way to a man's heart than through stomach? So
Yes.
I went around looking for a good restaurant to set up. Mocha Coffee and Conversations is where I had a MOU in Bombay, and then
Wow.
Casa Piccola in Bangalore, and there was a store called Raga. So we thought that we'll set up a restaurant. I finalized a space of 6,000 square feet in Chennai, in a place called Nungambakam. We took up a very old building, planned to remodel it, and set up these dessert and a gift store and an Italian food
Ah.
chain.
Can I ask you, when you thought of hotel and you went out for searching the property, 6,000 square feet is a big requirement for any broker. So how did you get that 6,000 square feet space? Did you approach some broker, or till then did you know anything about real estate, or that was the first encounter for you to connect with brokers and how they are dealing, and what was that experience?
Yeah, so it was like my second encounter with real estate. The first encounter was when I had to sell off my properties to settle my earlier issues. That wasn't a pleasant experience either. So we sold a property at X value, the broker marked up X plus 20%, and we didn't even know about it. On the day of registration, I realized I was getting X and the broker was getting 20%. So that was my first encounter with real estate. My second encounter was when I was searching for places, didn't find good brokers who showed me good places. It eventually happened through a newspaper ad where we connected with the owner and got the place. We signed up, and then the owner, when we were commencing work, the owner pushed us out of the place. He said, sorry, I need the place back. My son-in-law is coming from Dubai, so I can't give you this place. And then I continued the search, saw more than about 80 properties. Nothing suited me. No broker understood my requirement clearly. And
Amit, can you now, because now as you are also realtor, do you think कि आपका जो transaction direct client के साथ हुआ, और client came and just told you कि नहीं मेरा बंदा आ रहा है दुबई से, I can't give you with the transaction, कि अगर कोई professional broker के through transaction होता था तो वो client के लिए उतना easy नहीं था back out होना documentation के हिसाब से?
It would have been far better, because क्या हुआ था, मैंने मतलब क्लाइंट को खाली एडवांस दिया था, मैंने कोई अग्रीमेंट साइन नहीं किया था. अगर कोई अच्छा सा ब्रोकर था, he would have explained to me कि भाई अग्रीमेंट साइन करना है, ऐसे ऐसे करना है. So yeah, that was our mistake also. But no broker got a good property. But if there was a good broker, yes, I'd have not been in real estate. Would have not been doing the show. I'd have been having restaurants across Chennai, or maybe India.
So then what happened? Finally, where did you find the restaurant?
So I never found a place. Eventually, there were a lot of my friends who want to set up salons and boutiques and all of that. And then I telling them that, look, I've seen this place in T Nagar, I've seen this place in Nungambakam, I've seen this place here. And when I kept telling them that, go look at this doesn't suit my restaurant, but this will suit a salon. Then they said, wow, you actually showed us an ideal place. So they started taking that. Then I thought that, okay, till I set up my restaurant, why don't I show what I've seen to other people? So I got into real estate by chance, not by choice.
Wow, yeah,
I was showing places to people. They started taking it. I actually started making some money. 40,000 ka check aaya tha. Sorry, my first check was 28,000. Then 40,000. Then I got a check for 1 lakh also. 1 lakh was a very big check in Chennai those days.
Yes.
But having seen crores of rupees in one day in finance, for me that wasn't very appealing. So I said, okay, chalo, kuch actually ho raha hai, lekin let's identify what's the toughest part of real estate.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a lot of people. People said land business is the toughest, doing it in the outskirts and and bulk land is very difficult to do in real estate. So then I decided to take 2 years off, study real estate, and then come into the market.
Wow. So you took a decision that now you don't want to go into restaurant, you want to go in real estate, and first let me study the land, and then we'll come
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So I want to do something challenging. I didn't want to do rentals. I was not interested in commercial and residential. I decided I'll do land. And my first land transaction was.
So how that happened? So how many times? What did you learn from land business for 2 years? What you did actually? This is very important for all the brokers who are, who are thinking of entering into any vertical in real estate, be it residential, be it commercial, or be it land. So what are the preparation you need to do to become the expert, authority on that particular area? So what exactly you did in 2 years?
Right. So, I'm a very knowledge centric person. For me, knowledge is everything. So if I don't have knowledge, I will not do it. So there's a cousin of mine called Vinay Asrani who took me one morning. He said, look, the Omar is declared as an IT highway. Let's go see some land.
Yeah.
So he was the first person who took me around and showed me land, saying that, look, we can buy this, we can buy this. So we went with some local brokers, again, unprofessional and all of that. We studied the IT corridor. And we also finalized some land, but then some good brokers gave us wrong advice, and whom we perceived as good brokers, they gave us wrong advice, and we didn't buy that land. And that land was eventually bought by Hiranandani for 40 times of the price that we financed it for. So if I had not met some brokers that have been a lot richer, I'd have been a landlord today rather. Than being here. But okay, that's a learning process. So
Yes.
I learned very early what not to do in real estate.
Very good. Super.
So the broker who told me not to buy the land was the one who actually wanted me to buy land through him so that he makes money. So I realized that there are some people in the market who don't care about the interest of a client.
Yes.
And those brokers are not doing well today anyway.
Absolutely. There is no future for such kind of people.
Yeah.
This is
People
for sure.
reach to them. Yeah, but I realized late. I actually lost 40x of 1 crore at that time. So anyway, whatever it was, so they taught me what not to do as well. And I spent 2 years in driving across OMR. I knew property to property for 18 kilometers. So I would, if anybody would tell me, Amit bhai, there's this property on OMR and it's at Sholing Nallur, I would tell him, can you just tell me what's the color of the compound wall? And he would say that it's got a blue color compound wall. I would say, does it have casuarina trees inside? And he would say, yes. I'll say, I would say yes. And he'll say, how do you know? Then I would tell him the owner's name and I'll tell him the price and I'll tell him what is wrong with the property. I'll tell him the zoning and all of that. So I spent 2 years driving early morning till late night. I went to each and every government department, right from TNRDC to highways to SIPCOT to LCOT to Tamil Nadu Housing Board to CMDA, DTCP. I wrote the CMDA and DTCP books word to word. I knew my rules inside out.
Wow.
So business was very knowledge based. I knew what was coming where. I spent 2 years in learning, and that is what created my base in real estate.
Excellent. So there was no earning in that 2 years. You just learn and invest your time, money, and knowledge.
Purely, it was again a tough period because you haven't seen money since 2002 right up to 2007, and you're only spending money, and you're still learning, and you're still trying to settle in life. You are married, you have parents, you are accountable to a lot of people, and I thank God and my family for supporting me through that period. So that they gave me so much comfort. No words can express. So I was just spending their money.
Sure. Excellent. So and then, friends, then this incidents happened. Then Amit thought ki this kind of big land local developer will not buy. So he thought about going to Bangalore. And वो एक ऐसा इंसिडेंस हुआ जैसा वो त्रिशूल में अमिताभ बच्चन संजीव कुमार के पास जाता है. So Amit, share that experience of that developer where you went and nobody was really ready to listen to you, but then you also was there and then you got it. Can you share it, please?
Yes. So there was a lot of persistence. So I decided that I'll do something unique and I'll do something big. So my first land deal was a 40 crore land deal. And this 40 crore land deal was on OMR. It was in a place called Padur. And Padur, I went and identified this piece of land of about 9.27 acres out of a larger extent of 15 acres. I remember each aspect about the transaction, each aspect about the owner.
Yeah.
My first land transaction. And the prices were going up every day. So, today if the price was say X, tomorrow will be X plus 2%, and day after will be X plus 3%, and then X plus 5%.
Wow.
Everybody encountered that period in real estate where the prices were going up daily. And when I saw that land, I was like, okay, whom this land would suit? So 11-acre development, which developer in Chennai has done it? It was like, okay, nobody has done an 11-acre development in Chennai. The largest developer had actually done a 3-acre development. Okay. So then I said, okay, who's a potential client? And then I realized that there were big builders in Bangalore who were doing 7-8 acres effortlessly. So what I did is I took this land details to Bangalore and I campaigned in Bangalore for about 15 days.
Wow.
I went to each and every developer's office, right from Brigade Group to Mantri to Satwa Salarpuria to Purvankara to Prestige to Nitesh, and I would go and sit in the office and say that I want to meet the MD.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And no, why do you want to meet MD? And I'd say, "Look, I'm from Chennai, and I want them to come to Chennai and develop something." So no, they were like, "No, we are not interested in Chennai. Sorry, you can leave. If you have something in Bangalore, you offer us. We have a BD executive." I said, okay, let me meet your BD executive. So I would meet your BD executive and I would talk about Chennai. And it was beyond his comprehension to understand what am I talking about, because he, CMDA and all were all, new terms to him, and he knew something about Bangalore, and for him it was, beyond his capacity. Then I would persist and say, look, I need to meet somebody senior. So he would connect me to his marketing team.
So this happened. This happened with Mantri Group, correct?
It happened with all the groups, everyone. So it was a story with everybody. So I particularly go to Mantri, and then they connected me to the marketing team. Then from the marketing team, they connected me to the executive director. At the time, there was a gentleman called Manjunath over there. So he got me out, and I said, look, we have an interest to come to Chennai, but not now. Maybe after 2 years we will come. We will come someday. And then I said, sir, I need to meet MD. And I said, boss, I'm telling you what we want. I decide what's in the company. I said, sir, I need to meet MD, please. One sitting with MD. Then I would go to his office and sit in the morning at 9:30. I would not leave his office. I'll be sitting there the whole day till about 5:30. I'll say, I want to meet MD. They'll say, MD cannot meet you. He's actually very busy. So out of frustration, they actually let me meet MD's wife, Mrs. Nehal Mantri.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to her about Chennai. I actually explained to her, madam, you're buying land in Bangalore at this cost. I spoke to her in the language that she understood. She understood Bangalore. So I started talking about Bangalore, and I said, you're buying land at this cost, you're selling at this price. Why don't you come to Chennai? Your margins are higher. So I actually worked out and I told her. Then she said, look, I had marketing and I know which area sells very well. Can you guarantee me that area where you're proposing this land sells very well? So I gave her accurate figures. There was a local developer called Akshaya who had done 2 projects there, Adair and Adora. So I gave her the numbers. I said they launched at this price, so they took it up by 20% in 2 weeks. I carried all the newspaper articles with me because she was a marketing person, so she would understand that language. She understood everything, and then she said, okay, let's meet MD. And they gave me a time to meet MD the next day. And then when I met Mr. Sushil Mantri, he said, okay, Amit, I have 5 minutes for you. And when I sat in front of him, he actually sat with me for 2 hours.
Wow, kya baat hai.
He did not let me leave for 2 hours. He understood everything, and he said, okay, I am sending ED to Chennai. You actually tell, when should he come? I said, I will drive him now. Then he said, no, we'll give him some time. Then he called ED. ED said, I'll go next week. I said, sir, I'll come here every day. I'll sit with you. Don't worry. Whenever you're free, say at 11 o'clock one day you're free, I will take you to Chennai that day. I will show you the land. then actually ED came to Chennai, Mr. Manjunath. He understood everything very fast. In a few hours in Chennai, in 7 to 8 hours, he understood that he wanted to do this project. And they gave me all rights to go ahead and finalize the project for them.
Wow.
Then there was a period of about 15 days where they started understanding other projects. They told me, Amit, why haven't you offered this land? Why haven't you offered this land? And they showed me 4 lands. And I told them what was wrong in those 4 lands. When they went back and checked what was wrong in those 4 lands, then they understood that Amit knows about each and every land parcel there. He knows the in-depth knowledge about all these land parcels. We want to work with it. We want to work with you.
Excellent.
You wouldn't believe Mr. Sushil Mantri spoke to the landlord on a call, and the landlord said, "Sir, I am quoting 42 crores." Mr. Sushil Mantri gave me a right on the call, said, "Amit, I give you every right to go and close the deal up to 40 crores. You don't need to talk to me." I closed a deal at 37 crore, 89 lakh, 80,000 rupees. I saved him 2 crore, 10 lakh rupees. And of course, the conversation between Sushil Mantri and me was personal. The landlord didn't know about it.
Absolutely.
I saved him that money. And then when we went for registration, he actually said that I gave you right to close it at 40. I said, "Sir, I closed it at 37.89. Then he said, "You could have closed it at 40 and I know taken something more from the landlord." I said, I don't work like that, sir. For as long as you are paying my entire commission, I charge 1% on the land value. For me, 1% is enough. I don't need 2%.
True.
He did not blink an eyelid. He wrote a check for 37 lakh 89,000 and 800 rupees. So he didn't reduce 1 rupee. He did not bargain with me. I did another deal with him which was exceeding 100 crores. In that, he didn't round off the commission. He wrote it to the last rupee. And whenever I approach any other developer, Brigade Group's first project in Chennai is through me. When I told him, "Sir, I have given Mr. Sushil Mantri a land. Why don't you talk to him once?" He felt delicate because they are competitors. I said, "You just talk to him once and don't ask him anything. Ask him how's Amit."
Correct.
So that comfort from there got me a lot of developers. I have done deals with Shobha. I've done deals with Satva Salapurya, with L&T, with so many developers there afterwards. And any land they take in Chennai, even today, they would call me once and ask me, "Amit, is this land okay? Can I go ahead?" And I would say, "Yes, you can go ahead," or "No, avoid it for whatsoever reasons."
Superb, yeah. Excellent. I think this is what one needs to do if you really want to excel. I think there is no competition, boss. There is no competition to such kind of work when you're doing with so much knowledge and comfort level and conviction. And people will respect you. There is no reason they will not respect you. And on the contrary, developer needs such broker who has such kind of knowledge. कभी कभी डेवलपर के पास जो उनकी टीम रहती है ना अमित, उनके पास भी इतना लैंड का नॉलेज नहीं होता है. मैं आपको बताता हूँ. ये लोकल कंसल्टेंट के पास जितना नॉलेज होता है उतना उनके पास नहीं रहता है. सो दिस चैटल्स रियल्टी इज द नेम ऑफ योर कंपनी, करेक्ट? सो वो आपने लैंड के लिए वो कंपनी को फॉर्म किया आपने. सो व्हाट डज दिस चैटल्स मीन? व्हाट इज द हिस्ट्री बिहाइंड दिस नेम?
Sir, Chattels is actually a paradox. So, the name Chattels Realty means non-real assets. Non-real. So it does not include real estate. So, Chattels means anything but real estate. It includes all assets which are non-real. Non-real estate, yeah. So this name is not. It does not. It means all assets apart from real estate. But we deal only in actually real estate. So we consider other assets more important, like discipline, trust. We treat those more as our assets. So when I talk to a client, he says Chattels doesn't mean real estate. What do you mean by Chattels? I actually say that I give you everything else in my name, which is non-real estate, but I give you real estate for your need of real estate. Super,
and it depicts your personality. Absolutely amazing. I don't think I have heard any name in real estate in my journey of 32 years. With such kind of conviction, and the understanding of the name.
Yeah.
Great. So then what happened? आपने land start किया, it was growing fantastic.
Yes, sir. So हम लोग एक deal करते थे एक साल में.
हाँ, you used to have a good break also. मतलब आप पैसा कमाए तो फिर घूमने चले जाते थे बीवी को लेकर.
तो actually जब भी commission check आता था, मतलब commission check आता था 15-20 दिन के बाद में, 30 दिन के बाद में. एक बार आता था, we were very disciplined to reinvest 25% back into real estate. So we started buying real estate.
Wow.
And I would go for a 1-month holiday. So this was really completely 30 to 40 days. I would lock office and disappear, and our staff would have paid leave during the time. So my office would be locked. I would not have international roaming on my phone. My mails used to be on autoresponder, and my clients used to be the most understanding. All my clients would know कि भाई ऑटो रेस्पॉन्डर है तो मतलब अमित बड़ा डील किया है भाई, वो एक्चुअली मिलने वाला नहीं है. जब वो वापस आएगा हम लोग वेट करके डील करेंगे. So all my clients waited for me very patiently. I am thoroughly blessed. You will not believe, even this morning one of my clients I was supposed to do a site inspection with a client. He wanted to do it this afternoon. Then he said, I will do it for you at 12 noon. I will do it for you at actually 10 o'clock. वो एक्चुअली उठता है 8 बजे को. उनको मैंने बोला सर आज शाम को मेरा एक वेबिनार है, हम लोग एक्चुअली जा रहे हैं साइट इंस्पेक्शन के लिए 150 किलोमीटर दूर, मेरे को घर पहुंचना है 2 बजे. आई एम सॉरी, आपको 6 बजे उठना पड़ेगा. I am thoroughly blessed. All my clients adjust to my time. I don't adjust to my clients' time. This is the biggest blessing that I have in real estate.
So I think because of your contribution and the commitment towards your job, I think with full integrity, I think that can be seen, But I think boss, ये आपने जो announcement किया है ना, छुट्टी 30 days छुट्टी after good transaction, काफी लोग अभी जो सुनते होंगे ना, वो सब लोग प्रॉब्लम में आने वाले हैं, क्योंकि अभी उनका स्टाफ भी कुछ सोचेगा कि यार हमको भी ऐसा ही बॉस चाहिए जो खुद भी छुट्टी पे जाए, हमको भी छुट्टी पे जाने दे.
वो मतलब 2007 से 12 चला, उसके बाद में चला नहीं. और इसके कारण मेरे कुछ दोस्त के डिवोर्स भी हुए. उनके वाइफ बोले भाई तू एक्चुअली हमको छुट्टी लेके ही नहीं जाता, ये एक्चुअली बंदा ऑफिस बंद करके 30 दिन 40 दिन एक्चुअली घूम के आता है.
Good, but I think that would have been a great break, and I think those were the moments from where you get a lot of new innovative ideas, some creativity. You come back with a lot of energy, I think, isn't it?
Yes. So deals have been very draining. When you do a 100 crore deal, when you do a 200 crore deal, the time spent on those deals is about 9 to 10 months, even a year and a half.
True.
So from finalization to actually registering the property, there are so many stages where a deal could have broken and fallen.
Yes.
And that's where we bring in our innovative ideas. We actually help both parties stay actually locked into the deal. People will say, no, we will bring them back 30 days later. We will not let them go. That takes a lot of strain on your mind and body.
True.
So, there have been very strenuous days. I could also narrate them if you're interested in hearing about them.
True.
Where or to make deals happen, we have done whatsoever possible, like physically draining ourselves, mentally draining ourselves as well. I could give you.
Yeah, I can understand. Those are all very, very challenging things. So currently, you also started then, apart from land, you have now diverged into warehousing also. You are also into luxury residential. So
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so in the year 2016, we started commercial real estate under the brand Chattels Realty. We still continue to do it. We dominate certain high streets, like in Ananagar 2nd Avenue. Even today, you will find our boards on 5 top properties on that one stretch, where we do a lot of showroom leasing, a lot of restaurant leasing, big ticket deals, leasing in the 8 lakh plus segment, top brands, and we do it on exclusive mandates. We actually do it in. We have Karthik Mehta in our company who actually handles that. Very efficient person. So that's something we started in 2016. Vinay Asrani, my cousin, who's my bua's son, who I also call my brother, handles a brand called Luxclusive Homes, which deals in luxury real estate. He holds the record for selling the 2 most expensive apartments in Chennai, close to 20 crores a piece in Seabros 174, which is a very high-end sea-facing project. It's right on the sea. So we hold the record for selling the 2 most expensive apartments here in Chennai.
Excellent.
As a broker, and we continue to do really high-end stuff in residential, in leasing, rental, and in sale under the brand of Luxclusive Homes. The third brand, which I'm more pushing right now, is known as All Warehouses. It's a 2.5-year-old brand. 2019 started in 2019. The thought process behind all our brands is very similar. We have complete knowledge of the market. We provide end-to-end solutions. When I speak about All Warehouses, we have more than 1,500 shares listed on our portal, allwarehouses.in. Today, an investor who has money comes to us, we buy him land. We have an in-house architect who has designed more than 40 lakh square feet of warehousing and industrial space. So we do designing for them. We do plan sanctions. We have 3 contractors, empaneled with us. We do execution. We do leasing, and we also sell their warehouses, get them exits, we get them funding. And we also do fractional ownership assets in warehousing in actually Chennai on private placement basis. So we don't follow the system of the online systems where they sell at 30 lakhs a unit. We do a 1 crore or a 50 lakh private placement deals in actually Chennai with actually
So, how is your team?
investors.
How many team
We do
members?
end-to-end in warehousing today. That's our team members in Chennai in total. Chattels Realty plus all warehouses, Luxury Homes are our associates. We are close to 20.
20.
We have the all warehouses office in Bangalore and in Delhi, where we have 6 people and 7 people there. So yeah, highly efficient teams. In actually Chennai, for all warehouses, we have a gentleman called Kumar, who's a superstar. He actually takes care of all the inquiries. He handles a lot of inspections. Of course, he has people under him as well. He has a backup team. So we have Veena, Komali, and Kannan and Venkat. You know, lot of people who actually support us. They're highly efficient team, and they do a lot of multitasking. So they're forced to do a lot of multitasking working under me.
Yeah, absolutely. Wherever you are there, one needs to be multi-starting. What are the core strength of your organization? All three. What are the most important things which your organization?
Yeah. So the core strength is we work purely on commissions. We don't work on margins. There are no hidden margins in any transaction we do. Unlike a lot of other brokers in land, it's very common to keep a margin. We don't do that. Ours is a very transparent business. Number two, the land that's offered to a tenant or to a buyer is thoroughly checked. It's checked with all departments. We do not just a title diligence, we also do an approval diligence. We do a statutory diligence.
Wow.
So many people don't do an approval diligence, many people don't do a statutory diligence. So this is done very clearly, not because of any reason. We spend our time and effort in advance because we don't want to waste our time and effort later.
Absolutely.
I could go ahead and offer it to a client, he could come and finalize it, and I'll be very happy that I close the deal. Legal will be clear, and then when he has to, after buying the land and he realizes that he can't get approvals, I can't afford to lose my reputation for that. So we do all this checking. We do a local check where land, since we deal in the outskirts, the local area, we get maximum information, more than what you would get on any document. So we do all that checking. And ASI, highways, all of that is pre-checked. SIPCOT is pre-checked, whether there are any pending acquisitions on the land. So all of that is done. So our USP is that we give curated properties only when it comes to land. When it comes to residential, each and every new project is listed with us on luxclusivehomes.com. You could go there. You'll see each and every project that's above 3 crores in Chennai is there.
True.
Apart from the projects of one builder who doesn't support channel partners, but otherwise each and every project in actually Chennai is there. So we're a one-stop shop for your entire luxury housing. We are a one-stop shop when it comes to warehousing, because with 1,500 shares listed, if you come to me and say that I need 20 to 30,000 square feet in Sriperumbudur in a budget of 15 to 20 rupees, I'll be giving you 40 options.
Wow.
So you don't need to use a second broker or a third broker. If you use me, I guarantee you have 90% of the market inventory given to you within 2 minutes of your call.
Wow, fabulous. Amazing. Yeah, that's great. Excellent. Amit, you have three verticals now, and today's time, the time is also changing very fast. Technology is really helping all of us to do multitasking. So, what kind of marketing strategies your company is doing? Earlier, how you were doing marketing, and of course, land is a different ball game. It is not a residential retail. But what kind of marketing strategies your company is doing, and also how much technology you are using?
Excuse me. So the marketing is very different for each brand. All have their own different strategy. When you speak about all warehouses, if you just search for warehouse in Chennai on Google, you will find us 3 times on page 1 of Google. So we are very, very strong in digital. You will find us on all social media platforms, and most of our leads are direct. There are some indirect leads. We actually work with all brokers in the market. We don't tell any broker no. And when a broker comes to us with a client, he hands over the client to us. We have close to about 32 brokers. I'm giving you exact numbers, who call me on a regular basis and say, Amit bhai, do you have this lead? And if I say yes, they say okay, no problem. And if I say no, they just introduce me to the client over a mail. giving me the name, mobile number, and email ID. They take their side commission, we take our side commission. We handle the deal end to end. We don't expect the broker's participation at all. So our USP, our marketing is brokers. Our marketing is actually digital online. We are actually extremely strong. We have exclusive mandates. We have exclusive mandates right now for 11.8 lakh square feet in Chennai.
Wow.
20 warehouses in Chennai are exclusively mandated to us. You will find hoardings of all warehouses in industrial areas. If you drive through Red Hills, Kulal, you will find our hoardings. You will find our boards on actually 23 sites in actually in these industrial areas on main roads. So we are very, very strong that way. Our USP is number one, I'm going to be here unlike any other competition, because our competition, if you're going to be talking to a gentleman, he may be in this company today, he may be in some other company tomorrow. So the first thing, you're talking to the owner of the company, and I'm going to be here permanently. Number two, while you talk to me, I open my app, and if you're telling me that you're looking at Sriperumbudur 40,000 square feet and 20 rupee budget, my app, I use the filters and I generate a PPT. I don't make a PPT. My app generates a PPT and it goes to the client on his WhatsApp and his mail in seconds while he's talking. So I tell my client, can you just open your WhatsApp and check those options? He opens it and he checks his options right away. And I ask him, okay, can we do an inspection now? My gentleman is already in Sriperumbudur. You can start your car and go there and you can inspect the site in 1 hour. So our USP is speed, absolute speed. So, when a client goes to the site, our app has a form that he needs to sign. It's a client inspection form. When the client inspection form is signed, that form automatically goes to the owner because the owner's data is already fed in the app. So the owner knows that at this date, at this time, this client has visited my site. Excellent. So there's no question of the owner cheating us. A copy of the mail also goes to the client. So there is multiple recording of the transaction happening at every level. And so our main USP is inspection on the same day. We try and do closures on the same day. We've been successful in closing three transactions on the same day as the inquiry comes in. So that's our USP. Speed is our biggest USP.
Yes, speed is the most important thing in today's time. Actually, in my generation, patience was a virtue, and today's generation, impatience is a virtue. Friends, while I am interacting with Amit, and a lot of things what he's sharing is something amazing, and I'm sure everybody who is listening right now may be getting some outstanding ideas, and encouragement. So if you have any question, please put it on the question answer chat box. Once I finish the conversation, we'll take those questions also. So Amit, when you started Land, because Land is a very, very complicated business, and in real estate as it is, the transparency word was very, very difficult to digest for somebody. But over the period, there were a lot of things which has happened and helped the real estate industry to get transformed. And the very fact that we are interacting as a broker, nobody must have thought 20 years back that broker can be online and discuss the business, how to grow. I think it is just an impossible thing which I can believe. So there are few things which has happened, especially in last 5-6 years. So what is your opinion on that? For example, in 2016, we got encountered with the demonetization, and then came RERA. I think that was the biggest thing. Then came GST, and then came lockdown, through COVID. So how do you see these incidences happening in our life and in our business? What kind of change you can see in our industry moving ahead?
Okay, so first things first, we as brokers are the most optimistic people in the whole world. Nobody can be more optimistic than us, no matter whatever happens.
True.
There was a tsunami in Chennai. We didn't give up on real estate. There were floods. We didn't give up on real estate. We always came back stronger. And our optimism is actually what actually keeps us going. So, always remain optimistic. Always be self-motivational. So it's very, very important for a broker to motivate himself. And RERA came in, it actually came to add, better value systems into the whole industry, which are eventually going to benefit us. So I don't treat RERA as negative for brokers. It's always positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brings accountability in actually all aspects. We need to be accountable as well. Excuse me. GST was a major reform. it had to happen someday, sooner or later. And GST has also brought in, it has made the effects of demonetization a lot more clear. So, input tax credits, people realize that cash is on its way out, and white is on its way in. So it's only when you have white money that we can actually gauge transactions. You can gauge that the actual value of real estate can be gauged only from your document that you register. So with white coming in, it is always a welcome move. South has traditionally been a little more a white market, so we're not too affected over here in the south. So basically, any such new challenge brings in new learnings. It is very important for us to be ready to adopt change. If you don't adopt change, you are going to be lost out. So you have to go on learning new things and adopting change. You need to attend a lot more education programs, a lot more motivation programs, and with Vinod Bhai, willing to get so many brokers across India to share all of this with us, we all inspire each other. So I've been inspired by Vinod Bhai, I've been inspired by Jitendra Khaitan, by Pavan Agarwal. These are all very, very big names in real estate. I have seen them manage big teams, and then from a team of 2 people until 2016, we grew more. Looking at all these people grow. So I think that we are all here to share all our knowledge with everybody. So I have also done 30 education programs so far. I share everything that I know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sharing is, sharing actually helps you also to grow, because you learn in doing last 24 session. I think how will I get the kind of knowledge what right now you are sharing? There are a lot of things which I never knew. So I am learning today, so thank you for that. So there is another thing which has happened in this industry, Amit. Earlier, because it was very, very unorganized industry, even today, if we say it is getting organized, but I would say hardly 10% of the real estate is organized today. So the more there was unorganized, there was exactly, we didn't know the size of the industry. And that is exactly what has happened is more corporate people, the moment RERA came, GST came, now more corporate people are entering into real estate broking. You have banks coming in real estate, you have corporate big companies are entering into real estate broking because they understood the value of the entire game. And all those, organized market, if we don't get updated and don't, get knowledge, I think, they are going to take that share of the market. So what a broker must do, to see that they don't lose their opportunity.
Point number 1 is be a specialist. So if you look at our company, Karthik Mehta does commercial real estate. I don't involve myself in commercial real estate. Vinay Asrani does residential real estate. I don't involve myself in residential real estate. We only talk on a daily basis for about 15 minutes to understand their problems and how to resolve it. So we all share our experiences. I am an expert in warehousing and land.
True.
So step 1 is be an expert in one domain. If you're an expert in that domain, let me tell you, nobody can challenge you. So, while you're talking about big players coming in, there are some banks who have got into real estate. 3 major banks, 3 major private banks have got into real estate. Let me assure you, all their warehousing and land inquiries, they give it to me. They don't do anything directly because they treat me as a specialist and an expert in warehousing and land. So the competition is a collaborator. He will come and work with you. Just be a domain expert. Simple.
Excellent. Very good. Excellent. I think that's very important because these corporate companies, they are entering the market, but they are not entering the market as a real estate broker. They are entering the market as an aggregator. So if you are, as you said correctly, if you are a local specialist, they will depend on you. So
Absolutely.
it's up to you how you are creating your own brand as a local level. Wonderful. So Amit, now you finally reached into real estate segment for your profession. I can see that you are really enjoying this profession. You are very passionate about whatever you are doing into real estate. So what is that one thing which is keeping you in real estate? What is that one thing which you love about real estate?
I like the big numbers. So,
Wow.
it is the case of doing a bigger transaction. So, it is, there was a time when it was like, okay, let me do so my first deal was a 40 crore deal, right?
Yeah.
That itself was a benchmark in year 2000.
Absolutely.
I had done a 40 crore deal in Chennai. So my benchmark was a 100 crore deal, then it was a 200 crore deal, and then we nearly cracked a 2,700 crore deal, which unfortunately we lost for 40 crores to another fund. But anyway, these are all part of the games. So today it's more about your client reviews. It's not money any longer. Beyond the time, money is not
Yes.
strive for. It's about name and reputation.
Excellent.
So when my client opens all warehouses on Google and he sees that I have 300 plus reviews and all reviews are 5-star, he actually calls and says, Amit, I've read all your reviews and these are all top clientele. I'm just amazed. How did you manage so many reviews? So that online trust, that reputation, the org that people treat you in is actually the next big kick.
Excellent.
So when you say that, are you so passionate about real estate? What is it that keeps you in real estate? So I'll just give you a simple example.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman who works with me, recently joined us. He's a landlord. He owns land worth 300 crores in Chennai. He's joined a company to learn warehousing and land. And his name is Amit Mehta. And Amit Mehta yesterday asked me that it's my wife's birthday. What should I get her? So my wife was next to me, and then where should I take her? He asked. So my wife was next to me, and I asked my wife that it's Amit Mehta's wife's birthday. What do you think he should get her?
Yeah.
Where should he take her? So my wife said, let him take her for a site visit.
Yes.
On my birthday. So on her birthday, rather on our anniversary as well, I promised to take her to ECR, and I took her to the opposite direction and to show her four warehouses. So that's how deep real estate is into our system.
Excellent, yeah. Amit, it was wonderful. पता नहीं चला कि we crossed almost 1 hour 15 minutes while interacting you. So finally, what are the do's and don'ts for real estate brokers in all this vertical where you are doing? As a successful broker, what is your advice to our current generation broker? What they should not do and what they should do?
Yes. So what you should do is first gain knowledge. There was a time when it was very important that you had all the knowledge. Today is the time where it's more important to know where to find it. So you don't need to have all knowledge, but you should know where to find it at least. So that is very, very important.
Correct.
So you should do your research upfront beforehand. You have to understand the client requirement in depth. Truth, discipline, honesty, integrity is it goes without saying. I don't need to repeat this. Everybody says all of this. And listen to your seniors. Keep learning from them. There is a lot of innovation that is going to help you in actually future. No broker is not a challenge to me at all, because no broker is only for small rentals which were being done by the drivers and the local ironmen in streets. I am an expert. I'm an advisor. I'm a consultant. People treat me very highly for my knowledge. They are willing to pay me for my knowledge. I have clients who call me and say, Amit, I have already finalized this land. You need to handle the transaction from my side and I'll pay you 1%. I didn't bring the buyer. I didn't bring the seller together. I still get my fee. I have brokers who call me and say, sir, I have a buyer and seller. I actually need you to handle this transaction and you actually take a 1%. So knowledge is the key. And you get knowledge out of experience and out of learning from seniors.
Excellent.
That's about it.
What you don't do? What you not do?
What not to do?
Not to do.
Well, what is it that I don't do? First is, well, it's the opposite of what I do. So I don't lie. I share all knowledge that I know about a property. I will not conceal any fact. Just because I have got a property finalized and I've come to know that there's something wrong in it, which the buyer would never find out. Like a property, we close a property deal for a 24 crore in a very good area here in Chennai. The registration is actually due to happen next week on Friday. Out of my own personal interest, I went to the ASI department and I got to know that particular land, I applied for my land, but I also applied for the other land just to know whether there's a ASI issue. Then ASI department gave me a detail that 45 years ago they had excavated 200 meters away from the site, and that's still marked as an ASI area. So it's a no development zone. So I've advised my client yesterday not to buy that land. It's a 24 crore deal. It's a loss of more than 50 lakhs to us, but we know about it, so we need to share it.
Excellent.
And I can guarantee you this client is not going to buy from anybody else.
Absolutely.
This time he will only come to me and say, Amit, till you buy me my land, I'm going to wait.
Excellent. Great, Amit. It was a great experience for me also. And before we take the question answer, there are a few personal questions, which will reflect you as a individual person. This what we interacted was all about real estate. But let me ask you some personal question, which will be one-liner kind of thing. So that will unveil your personality, though most of us know your personality. So what does success mean to Amit?
So success is happiness. When I see people around me happy, I feel successful. My family needs to be happy first. They've given me far too much happiness. So when I see them happy, I'm successful. Money doesn't give me happiness.
Great. So what does money mean to you?
Money is important to run life and to also help others. So I don't like saying how I've helped others during the Corona times. That needs to be a secret. It gives me happiness helping others.
Excellent. Very good. And how good you are in reading? Any book? Your personal favorite book?
So my wife keeps saying that I should be writing books rather than reading. Yeah.
Good. You must. I think I'm sure your journey is worth writing. It will definitely inspire a lot of people, especially the next generation who want to enter the real estate. And which is your favorite place? You have moved around many places. आपने इतने vacation किए तो which is your favorite place?
Today my favorite place is Mahabalipuram. I have a lovely house there on 16 acres of land. Gives me a lot of peace, tranquility. Otherwise, my favorite place everybody knows was Goa, where I continue to take a 10-day break every January. I'm in Goa for 10 days when I don't answer calls, and I have my private pool villa where I just chill. So
Great.
Otherwise, I've traveled the whole world.
Excellent. Any successful organization depends on the good leadership. So who is your favorite leader? It can be from any spheres of life.
Sir, so many. Vinod Thakkar is a leader whom I'm in awe of. Jitendra Khaitan in real estate. I respect Ramesh Nair, who's now moved from JLL to Colliers.
Yeah.
These are all wonderful people. There's a lot to learn from everybody. Pavan Agarwal. So many. Pradeep Joe in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. And we Indians, our life without Bollywood is nothing. Always, there is some space of Bollywood in our life. So, which is your favorite movie from Bollywood?
Three Idiots is my favorite movie. It's become my
I guess
favorite.
it's right.
Become my favorite because I'm forced to watch it many times.
And who is your...
No, so the remote is in my wife's hand.
And who's your favorite stars, both male and female star from Bollywood?
From Bollywood, okay. Well, I have a lot of actors around me. So my son is an actor. My father-in-law is a great actor. My wife, but yeah, Amir Khan is a brilliant actor in Bollywood.
Yes,
We as real estate agents also do a lot of acting.
Yes.
There is acting required to do in the good interest of everybody.
True.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any sports person you like? Which sports you like?
Sir, I follow cricket in bits and pieces. So yeah, Dhoni and of course Kohli and Tendulkar. Yeah.
Great. And what is your goal now? Your professional goal moving ahead?
It's mixed. So my main goal is to impart as much knowledge as I can to people coming to the industry, willing to share everything I know. To see to it that more people make money, they are successful and they're happy.
Excellent. So actually that becomes your purpose.
A purpose, yeah.
It
So
looks like a purpose.
yeah. So my personal goal is to be remembered for doing something good. It could either be in warehousing. It could be, like I already said, teaching others and making successful entrepreneurs.
Like a signature, Amit Chuk signature.
Yeah.
Great, Amit. I really enjoyed interacting with you. We have a few questions. Let me take those questions. There is Mr. Satyajit More. He's asking, my question is, what document can we have for me as a broker and property looker so that the property looker doesn't bypass me and close the deal with the property owner directly? So it's about securing the brokerage.
Right. So, first things first is whenever we get an inquiry from a client, we automatically we have an autoresponder mail which sends a fee confirmation to the client. When the client responds to the fee confirmation, then he gets the options in his mailbox. So the first is fee confirmation. Second is when he gets the options in his mailbox. In certain cases, when the client is new to us, we inform the owner that we've shared the options to this particular client. The second is when he comes for a site inspection, we take a site inspection form. So you don't need an app immediately. You could take a physical site inspection form, get it signed, click a photo, send it to the client and to the owner so that you are secure. These are all basic things where you create multiple records.
True. Same gentleman is asking another question that in tier 2 cities like Dharwad in Karnataka, where the rentals are actually non-existent for second and third floor, what should we do? Should we build the commercial complex or not?
Okay, so I speak about warehousing. I'm a warehousing expert. I have inquiries in Dharwad for no warehousing. Go ahead and build. I have a lot of big size inquiries. 20-30,000 square feet is normal. 50,000 square feet is good. So there is no supply there. I can fill it up for you.
So Sunil Dankani is asking, can you please share your biggest deal till today in both ways, deal amount and brokerage? I think it's a personal thing, but I leave it to you.
Right. So, I don't want the income tax boys chasing me. So all our transactions are in white and our commissions are also taken in white.
Yeah.
Okay, we have done good multi-crore size deals, more than 100 crores. We've done a good number of deals in that number. And God has been kind. It's not.
Absolutely. So I think Satyajit More is very, very much fascinated by your sharing. Amit Bhai, very nice session, but there are more challenges in doing business smaller tier 2 cities than metro. But I believe moving ahead, I think India will be growing in tier 2 and tier 3 city. What is your view on that?
Well, there is no doubt at all that the biggest action in warehousing is happening in tier 2 cities.
Yes.
So tier 1 cities is more like a safe ground. Everybody knows the locations where you can do warehousing in tier 1 cities, and they are playing it safe. But if you take chances in tier 2, your returns also will be exponential. I have seen clients willing to pay 50% more rental for a grade space in tier 2 because it's simply not available. Use the demand supply gap and make your money.
Great. Thank you all for your wonderful participation, and thank you, Amit, once again for sharing your journey right from. You like to say something?
Yes, there are some questions on the chat box in Zoom. So
Yeah.
there is
you can see, you can take from there. There's no problem.
Yeah. So there is Nazir who introduced me to Priya. So he would like to share something.
Yeah.
So if you can find him and let him speak what he wants.
That will not be possible because this is a webinar, so it would be difficult to get him online.
Sure.
If he has any question, you can answer the question.
Okay, great. I actually don't see any other question.
Yeah, there's no question. Question answer is completed, I think. So, thank you, Amit. It was wonderful to get to know more about you. जैसे मैंने कहा, लोग आज तक आपको जानते थे, लेकिन आज शायद पहचान लिया. Right from your journey, from your forefather from Karachi to Chennai. It was a wonderful story, lot of insight, amazing learning, So on behalf of all the brokers who are watching now and my team, Broker Ki Pathshala, I'm indeed grateful to you for having to come here and share your personal story with all of us. We'll keep this platform for all the brokers across the world to see that, how we can take this platform to the next level and share more and more good things about business and create more opportunities for each and every brokers of the small town also, who can get the same opportunity like you and me are getting. So on behalf of all of us, please accept this token of love and appreciation as a certificate. I am a Rotarian and in my club, Rotary Club of Mumbai, Daisar, we have this program called Annapurna Project. So, for having been you here on this program, we are going to contribute 100 meals to underprivileged children for this Annapurna project. So, please accept this certificate. It goes like this: Broker Ki Pathshala, an initiative by Square Feet Foundation. Certificate of appreciation to express our gratitude to Mr. Amit Damodar, founder Chetal's Realty, for his gracious presence and significant contribution in making Broker Ki Pathshala a great success. We are pleased to sponsor 100 meals under Annapurna project by Rotary Club of Mumbai Daisar, which will provide food for the underprivileged. Signed by yours truly, today, 23rd July, on Guru Purnima. This is a very, very special day. And thank you, Amit, for having been agreed to come and share your journey. It was really wonderful. And before we close, let me announce the next speaker. Friends, I want to, would you like to say?
Can you change that to 200 meals? There are 100 meals from my side as well.
Oh, sure. I'll share the email ID and you will get the mail from Rotary Club. It is so nice of you. Thank you very much for that kind gesture. Friends, Broker Ki Pathshala is reaching to a first milestone, which I never thought when I started first during the lockdown. I started like, कि सारे लोग webinar कर रहे हैं, तो I thought let us start with something, which can help brokers. But I think now I can feel that this will be an online, ongoing journey for me till I am there in my life. I am enjoying this because when you are sharing something, you get happiness within you. So next Friday is the Silver Jubilee episode for Broker Ki Pathshala. I thank each one of you for being there, for being encouraging me. There are few brokers who are always there. Whenever I send a message, I will get thumbs up, an acknowledgement. That acknowledgement is most powerful thing. So we are going to recognize those people who have attended all 24 sessions. And we want to celebrate this Silver Jubilee as a first milestone, not only for Broker Ki Pathshala, but all the brokers, all the speakers who came and share their knowledge. So here is the next Friday's speaker for all of you. Can we have the slide, please? So on Silver Jubilee session, season 3, we will be having Mr. Aswinder Singh. He is the CEO, Residential Bhartiya Urban, Bangalore. He recently joined this company, but prior to this, he has an unbelievable experience of real estate brokerage business. He was part of JLL residential team. He was part of NRO and many more corporate organizations. So his personal life journey and sharing from a different perspective is going to help all of us, to know more about how corporate people do real estate business. So thank you, Amit, once again, and thank you all my fellow brokers across the Mumbai and across the India for having participated here and supporting and encouraging me to take this forward. See you on next Friday on Silver Jubilee session. Thank you once again, Amit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinod Bhai. Thank you, everybody.